I've been sort of mentally preparing myself for this.
What the fuck?
Ew! Oh! Ew!
What is this?
Just chill out, dude. Just take your
Why did you rub it on yourself?
What's wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
What is wrong with me? No, Mario sent this to me. What's wrong with Mr. Mario?
We're done. What am I watching right now? What is this?
I think we're good. Hey, what is going on, everyone? It's me, Mr. Mario, and I simply never thought I'd be making this video until it was actually getting kind of realistic that we could get to this point. But what video is this? This here is going to be unboxing this giant YouTube plaque. I have I have not gotten anything physical from YouTube like this. This has been a goal for a bit. Like, this is honestly maybe the biggest reason why I wanted 100,000 subscribers, just so I could say I physically have some kind of reward from YouTube. But man, hard to believe we're here, right? In case you did not know, back in May, I believe it was May 21st of 2019, this channel ended up hitting 100,000 subscribers. Thank you to everyone who is watching, who is subscribed, because you all are a part of the reason why we got to this point here together. But one of the things that you can get when you hit your 100,000 subscriber goal is one of these silver play buttons. Now, because YouTube has been stingy about them, there's been actually several times YouTubers don't have anything wrong with their channel and they hit 100,000 and they even get the little, verification checkmark badge, which I have on this channel. That was nice too. They gave that to me in 11 minutes. Can you believe that? That was awesome of them. Anyways, there's been many times where people have simply not gotten this, where support says, yep, you don't have any strikes on your channel seems to be okay, you are not eligible for a play button. Why not? You're not eligible. And that's about it. But anyways, I'm happy and thankful enough to have one here. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be unboxing this for you all. And just like I said in the 100,000 subscribers special, I said that I was going to see about getting one of these. If I did get one, I was going to wait for it to come in the mail and then unbox it for you all. And we're going to do a little bit of a Q&A. So I've never seen one of these in person. I've never touched one of these in person. So let's just get into this. And by the way, I actually got this while I'm recording this. I got this like 2 or 3 days ago in the mail, and I've been holding off specifically for this video. So I finally had some time, thankfully, to get this done here. And it's been painful to kind of wait, but I'm happy that we're doing this. Oh man. All right. Let's knife it up. Is that enough? I think that's enough. Okay, cool. We got it. Let's tear into this. Let's look at this. All right. Seeing it? Good? And there's nothing in there. All right. No. There's this little plastic. There's just this little foam protective piece here. You know what's going to be funny? This is also a problem, too. This is a few years ago. What if I get someone else's plaque? If I get someone else's plaque, I'm going to have to reach out to them and be like, hey, did you get my plaque by chance? But let's go ahead and remove this here. Oh! All right. There's more stuff before we get to the plaque. Hold on. Let's see. Well, actually, we can just move this. Holy shit. Holy shit, that's it. We're going to open this up. Stay open. We're going to open this up here soon. God, I'm sorry. You guys can't really see that because of the glare and such, but that's my channel name right there. Holy shit. All right, let me put this over to the side here. It's gonna stay there. Let's see what this is. First of all, I got one of these little cards. I'm gonna see what this is. Congratulations on your subscriber milestone. We are honored to take part in recognizing your achievement and want your experience to be exceptional. This award was inspected and packaged with great care by Rick. Thank you very much, Rick. Appreciate you. If your award was damaged during shipping or you have any questions, please contact us at, they give me the email address of the site where YouTube contracts to get these awards. And finally, it looks like I have, oh, wow. They got some nice paper on this. This is not like typical like 8.5 by 11 printer paper. This is like, the last time I touched this paper was when I was printing off my resume and handing it off to people at career fairs. Like, this is like the official paper you want to use if you really want to mean business. But anyways, let's go ahead and read through this. I know some people are gonna say, hey, it's a canned response, whatever. But look, it's my canned response, okay? We good. Oh, excuse me. You've just done something that very few YouTube creators accomplish. You had an astonishing 100,000 people subscribe to your channel. Thank you, everyone. We know that numbers on YouTube can get really big, but we hope that you don't lose sight of the reality behind that 6-digit milestone. Each and every person who has subscribed to your channel has been touched by what you created. They were inspired, challenged, or entertained. I hope so. I really do. I really hope so, because if that'd be challenging, because, you know, the tutorials, and then inspiring. I mean, there's other channels that have come up on this. I don't know how much of an inspiration I should be, but I don't want to be. Don't be inspired by me, please. Entertaining, well, hope I'm not boring. You achieved this milestone with hard work, perseverance, and probably a healthy sense of humor, too. Susan, did you see my 100,000 subscriber video? I made a lot of my close friends on here watch a video of a morbidly obese man eating chicken and rubbing it all over himself without a shirt. I don't think that's a healthy sense of humor. It's a sense of humor in some sense, but I don't think it's healthy. But let's continue. With what you've accomplished, can't be taken away from you. And we'd like to recognize you and all your hard work with this Silver Creator Award, a small token of our esteem and respect. We know that you don't do this for rewards. You do it because you have a drive to create and share, and because you found an audience who cares. Believe us when we say that we can't wait to see what you do next. 1 million subscribers may seem a long way off right now, but you're closer than you think. We're rooting for you. Congratulations. Yours sincerely, Susan Wojcicki. I believe that's how you say her name. Well, thank you, Susan. This is a canned response. I mean, it's been the same thing for the past few years, but this is cool. I think what I might do, I'm obviously going to take my creator award and put it up somewhere, but I'd like to frame this and hang it up probably next to it as well, too. Let me know what you all think of that. I think I'm going to do something like that. Anyways, let's just put this over to the side, and let's see this creator award. All right. Oh my god, this thing heavy. And we even got, I've never seen this dry salt type thing that looks like a pack of cards. All right, cool. I think I'm going to keep this box as well, too, because also in case I have to ever, like, move this around or what have you, I can just put it back in there. I know exactly what it is. But here we go. The back of it is just black. It has these nice little hanging things on it. So let's check this out. All right. Take this out the packaging. Ooh, has a felt backing to it. I like that. Wow. You all might be able to see yourselves on here, but check that out. Check that out. Very reflective, and I'm trying to get it at a good angle here. I'm trying to, but look at that. Look, you know what? I'm just gonna have to do that. There we go. And trust me, it's, yeah, presented to Mr. Mario 2011. Holy shit. Holy shit. And is this, okay, that's actual indentation. I don't want to touch that mirror. I really don't want to. And this is what I was talking about, like the felt back, and we have like these right there, so you can just hang it up. Wow. It's so hard to believe that I'm holding this. Like, that's why I'm just speechless and don't know what to say, but holy shit. Thank you guys. And girls, of course. Everyone. Thank you so much. Because really, without the first 100,000 subscribers, this wouldn't have been possible. Simply put, this would not have been possible without the first 100,000 subscribers that subscribed to the channel. Well, that stayed, you know, when that happened. But... wow. All right. Let me put this over to the side. I think what I'm going to do... hold on. I think... maybe you all can tell me if this would be a good idea or not. What I want to do... I kind of want to put it like right here. And then maybe like here, put like the note or something. I don't know, but I think like right here would be a really good place to put it. Like, let me know what you all think, but I think that'd be a good idea. So, we'll check and see. Check and see how it goes. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this Q&A. And again, thank you so much for this. It's awesome. It's truly awesome. But Q&A time. If I am looking down at my phone, it's no obvious secret that I have the notes typed up on here. Now, I didn't take all of the Q&A questions, and if you're wondering how I got how to submit anything to the Q&A, unfortunately, it's a little bit late now if you're checking it out right now. But I had said near the end of my 100,000 subscribers special, if you want to ask me a question, just annotate that you want this asked and you're asking this for the Q&A, leave a comment down below in the comment section of that video, and I would try and get to it. But let's go ahead and see what we're dealing with here. All right, so first of all, I do have some technical questions which are related to the channel. What camera do you use for recording? Currently, I use a Panasonic Lumix G7. If I could buy the same model again, would I, or would I get something else? I would. I did get this about a year ago, and I know it's a little bit of an older 4K camera, but for how much I paid for it and for what I'm getting out of it, and I'm not even doing 4K, I'm doing 1080p 60, I think it's fantastic. It really checks all the bells and whistles of what I need a camera to do. So yeah, this is the camera I would absolutely recommend if you're wanting to get a good DSLR for a pretty solid price. And one nice thing is as well too with DSLRs from my experience, the previous camera I had, so depending on what videos you see, the previous DSLR I had was a Canon Rebel EOS SL1, and that was pretty good. I did want it to do a little bit more, so that's why I ended up getting this camera. But what I'm saying is the nice thing with DSLRs is they seem to really retain their functionality and value much higher than, you know, a phone or getting a point and shoot camera or even some camcorders as well too. So if you get a good DSLR, even if it's a few years old, you can probably use it for 3 to 5 years, something like that. Like my Canon Rebel EOS SL1, the one I just mentioned, I got that in 2013. It was already a little old at that time, and I think I started feeling the pains of it in 2016, and I replaced it in 2018, and I haven't looked back. But I got 5 good years out of that camera, and it could have gone for longer. I just wanted to get this for several different reasons. If you are interested in any further details of what I use in terms of like my computer, my microphone, what have you, I am going to put a link down below in the description to a Amazon store. I do get a little bit of a kickback from that. It is affiliate related, just full disclosure, but I do put my hardware in there because I get so many questions like this. But this is a solid question, totally understand, but just in case anybody wants to know what mic I'm using or what stand I'm using or whatever it is, I'm gonna have it down below in the description. Do you use anything for lighting? Well, it depends. If we are recording mod chat, I did end up getting a open box deal on a nice lighting kit for maybe 20-25 bucks. So I do have those big lights like that you would expect. Aside from any type of regular lighting, over here I do have a couple windows when I'm filming in here. If it's during the day like right now, it's helpful. If it's in the evening, obviously it's not gonna help. I do have one light built into my ceiling. I have a few lights in my fan that is above me right now. The only other light that I've gone out of my way to set up is a circular lamp light right behind me. It is just a circular light like this. It's LED based and it hooks up through USB. So I just hook it up to my keyboard and I turn it on just so I have some light behind the camera, and I think it does a pretty good job. The one I did use before, which it's not bad, it's kind of harsh on the eyes. That lamp right there, that is fantastic for electronic work and such. So if I'm working on a motherboard or something, soldering, and I need to see a light right there, it is fantastic for that, which is why I end up moving it over there. I have used it for several videos where I had to add some more light behind me, but the thing is that light, I picked it up at Walmart for like 10 or 15 bucks. It's a LED bulb light, and it's very harsh on the eyes, which is why I end up getting a different lamp here. Because this one's also USB based, so I can hook it up through a USB to AC adapter, or I can hook it up to my keyboard, or I can hook it up to maybe even like an Xbox 360 I have next to me. I could just plug it in there. So it's just a little more versatile, and it's easy for me to look at. Like I can stare at it right now and I'm not getting blinded. But yeah, that's about the setup I have. I think I have some of that posted in the Amazon link as well. I've also been asked here, could you also show a picture or clip of how the tripod or camera setup in front of you looks? Man, you're gonna make me show you my messy desk. All right, fine. I really don't have anything, and shout out to, I know exactly who asked this. Shout out to Skeletor, because I got this info to him earlier than this video because I know he's wanting to do kind of a setup like this. So I said, you know what, I'll help you out a little bit. I'll tell you what it is. And I'm just going to kind of record this right now and splice it in. Like, you know, I got dust here. I got, like, none of this is supposed to be permanent. Now, my microphone is kind of a bit of a permanent fixture where I have it set up, you know, through USB to my computer. I have a nice little, like, scissor type, I think it's like a scissor arm or something. That's what you would call it. So I have all that set up. And then my camera here, I don't have anything permanent set up for this. Like, I have my tripod right here, which I just get out when I need it. I have this big camera, it's right in front of me, so as you can see, this is not functional for everyday use. Now, I do also have a C920 webcam, as you can see, but this thing is garbage. I hate this webcam so much, so I really don't recommend it. And as you can see, that is the lamp right there. It just kind of hooks up underneath. You can kind of see the stand. I have it hooked up through USB. I know this is messy, man, but I'm just going to be honest with you all. So this is my current setup right now if I'm filming something like this. And then I have, you know, everything in the back set up for captures and all that stuff, like console HDMI-based captures. For this in particular, I am using the Elgato Cam Link, which I just have hooked up to USB 3. But, like, the only thing here that is permanent is, I guess, the lamp and the microphone, because those are really, the microphone's really what I use the most. So, yeah. Hopefully that answers your question, dude. If you could learn a new programming language, what would it be? I don't know how new this is, and I'm kind of double dipping a bit because I am proficient enough with SQL, but probably a Oracle related SQL. I don't know how you would even call that. Just like learn more about being a Oracle DBA, because that can definitely be valuable, and I have been in many times where I can work my way out of a SQL related issue like SQL Server or what have you, but when it comes to Oracle, it's a little bit hairier, and I really don't touch Oracle. So maybe I just need to build out an environment and mess around with it and such, but I guess would that count? Maybe? I'm gonna make it count, alright? Oracle. That's what I'd want to know, like Oracle database stuff. If you could say something within 10 words, oh my god, I thought of this question. Like, let me just finish it. If you could say something within 10 words to the 10-year-old self, what would it be? No investment stuff like Bitcoin or stocks, make it personal stuff. So the reason why I kind of had a little freak out about that is because I had actually thought of a really good answer for this, and I just now realized, like literally just now realized, that this guy wants me to give my 10-year-old self advice within 10 words. That is, hold on, let me think about this. I got it. I maxed out 10 words, all right? Don't give a shit about what others think of you. What was the hardest project you worked on? And which projects didn't work at all or as you thought? So this is a two-part question, and I think I have one answer for it all. And I had to think about this one. Now, I'm assuming that this person is asking me about modding-related projects, and I would say one of the hardest, if not the hardest one, I would say was a N64 RGB board install. I got like Tim Worthington, I believe that's what it's called, like Tim Worthington's N64 RGB board. I ended up buying one summer a N64, and it was the NS2 model, unfortunately, so you can't just do like the super easy RGB setup. But I got a NS2 model N64 for like $7. So it was cheap enough to the point where, one, it was a really solid deal, and two, if I broke it, I didn't care about it as much. But oh my goodness, like I got that board, and you have to solder a bunch of wires directly to the video encoder on the system. And he does give you, like the creator does give you a nice like ribbon strip, I guess you could say, of wires, but I could not get those things all cut at once. So I had to splice my wires and, you know, trim them and solder them one by one by one. It took me 2 or 3 hours to do. It was so frustrating. And it did work in the end, but I know it did not work as I expected. First of all, you can even like go back and watch the video of me doing this. It was like me just finishing the install and messing around with it. When I had the N64 partially assembled, the video didn't look right. Like it looked way too washed out and kind of bleached out in a way. And I was just like, oh god, I probably messed something else. I'm way too tired to deal with it. And I tried many different games, and I think I even tried, no, I didn't try different cables, but I tried many different games, and it was just borked. So I said, you know what, it's late, I'm tired, I'm just gonna put this all together and go to sleep. So I put the system all together, knowing that it didn't display properly. And then I said, you know what, let me test it one more time to make sure it works, just in case I pinched a wire or something while I was putting it back together. And I plugged it back in, and all the color was just fine. Like, it was resolved. The issue was resolved by me putting the system fully back together. But then the problem you get into is the N64 through RGB just, it looks okay. Assuming you've looked at composite signals all your life through these old systems, seeing the Nintendo in RGB is fantastic. The Super Nintendo looks great. The Sega Genesis, fantastic. Even the PlayStation 1. The PlayStation 1, if you display it in RGB, my goodness, it looks fantastic. But the N64 is just, it's okay. It's okay, and it's just, I almost question, like, how worth it is doing it again. So I've only done one. I haven't done it again. If I do have, which I believe I do, if I do have a NS1 model N64, I'm just talking about like the serial number on there, I would be more opposed to getting like one of Voltar's quick solder boards where you just kind of slap it onto the underside of the N64, solder in a bunch of points, and you solder like 3 or 4 wires, because that's a lot easier to do, and I could just get that set up and running pretty easily. But doing like a Ultra HDMI mod, doing another one of those RGB boards, like, I don't know, for me the output just wasn't worth it. And I guess I could go in, I could either use a Game Shark, or if I'm playing ROMs, I could patch them to take off, like, you know, all the filters and such that the N64 puts on, because it has a lot of filters which do make it look ugly in 2019. But again, like, I will try that at one point when I feel motivated. I'll try that and see what a difference it makes, and maybe I'll make a video on it, I don't know. But I just, again, it was disappointing. Like, it was a hard project, and I got it done successfully, and it was just kind of a disappointing output. So, you know, that would be my answer to both questions. The N64 RGB board. What is your favorite memory with the PS3 jailbreaking community, whether it be when a new homebrew app came out or just a video you really enjoyed making? I know exactly which one this would be. It was when the first round of tools from PS3 Exploit came out. I remember PS3 Exploit, like, just this random group came out onto the scene, and they were releasing tools under the same name. But when they ended up coming together, I think the first public tool that they had released under that name was, I think it was an IPDS dumper, or I don't remember what it was exactly. But I do remember, if my memory's not bad on here, I believe it was a tool that worked on all systems, and it was through WebKit and everything. And I just remember that people were absolutely freaking out that they could run this on Super Slims. And if it wasn't this first tool, it was a tool later on that people were still excited that they could literally run this WebKit based tool on any system on the latest firmware. Because in case you don't know, not all PS3s can be jailbroken, but at this point every PS3 can be modified in some way. And then the official PS3 version 1 tools came out, which were obviously the Flash Writer and the Flash Dumper, and that just allowed you to jailbreak your system using a network connection and a USB drive. And that was it. You didn't have to open it up, you didn't have to do anything with hardware outside of the USB drive and any type of network setup, and it was just really convenient and really awesome to use. I couldn't believe it when I tried it out. A lot of people, when I made my tutorial, there were tons of people who insisted that it was fake, because for years, there were just all these fake videos of how to jailbreak your PS3 through USB and all that stuff. So you no longer needed a hardware flasher to downgrade your system to 3.55, make sure it's all patched properly, and then install a custom firmware on there. You no longer needed that. And that was really big, and it's still big for the system. So 4.84, when those tools came out, that was also pretty big as well. Han and Hin, I would say Hin was probably my other favorite one, just due to the fact that Hin is near custom firmware for non-custom firmware enabled systems. So that was nice, but no, my all-time favorite one is definitely PS3 Exploit's first round of tools. And I think maybe even, I'll stretch it a little bit, my favorite kind of other thing related to it was shout out to Escort dude. I was actually at one point visiting his neck of the woods, and him and I had corresponded on Twitter, and I remember at that time I even asked, I was like, dude, these tools are awesome, is there any way I can donate to you all? And he said that PS3 Exploit wasn't taking donations, and I was like, well, if you'd be down to hang out. There was a lot more talk before then, but essentially I said, if you'd be down to hang out, like, could I buy you lunch if you're not going to take donations? And he said, sure. So him and I actually met up locally, and we hung out for like 2-3 hours at a restaurant just eating, and he just brain dumped all of this PS3 knowledge onto me over like his reverse engineering and ROP and testing and all that stuff. And he is just, it was so refreshing to see that, because he's just a guy who absolutely loves what he's doing. He absolutely loves the work that he's doing. He really enjoys it, and it was cool to see someone so passionate about him, but passionate about all the stuff he was talking about. I'm sure he's passionate about himself in some way, but either way, he was a fantastic dude. He's the only PS3 Exploit member I have met, but it was really cool getting to talk with him and such. So I think that's kind of all, it all happened within a few months, but kind of just that whole transaction was really cool. What got you into exploiting console handheld systems? I know exactly what got me into this. There is this game. There is a game which was about to come out, and then it was canceled because EA was EA, but it was on the PlayStation 1, and it is called Thrill Kill. This is supposed to be a super bloody, super gory, super traumatizing, I guess you could say, 4-player pit fighter, which takes place in hell. It was supposed to come out October 31st, 1998, and it was developed by I think it was developed by Paradox, and it was going to be published by Virgin. EA ended up purchasing Virgin, and then they said, you know what, we can't release this game because it's a little too violent. So just like a few weeks before the game was supposed to come out, they ended up canceling it. There were a couple betas, at least a couple betas which leaked out online, and there were 2 other full versions of the game which leaked out, censored and uncensored versions. And I remember I found out about this game years later, like 5 or 6 years later. And when I found out about it, I was like, I have to play. I have to play this game. I have to play it. Okay, so how am I going to play it? All right, I have to find the game. Where do I find the game? All right, eventually after so long, I end up finding the game. It's much easier to do now. Please don't assist anyone in it. Like, just not here. But it was super hard to find back in the early 2000s. And then I remember when I had gotten a hold of it, I had to learn about how to modify a PS1. So you can mod it using a mod chip. I couldn't solder. I couldn't get mod chips locally. I didn't know anybody who could solder. You couldn't just like look up these services on eBay or Craigslist or what have you. And I really couldn't just run into a modded PS1 by chance. I didn't know anybody who had them. So I instead opted for a boot disc and paid like $20 for a boot disc that took 2 or 3 months to come over, and then I had to learn how to burn my games, got PS1 Thrill Kill up and running. Plays horribly on a boot disc, by the way. It just has a lot of issues, but it didn't matter because I was playing it. That game is really what started off modding for me. So, Thrill Kill on PS1. If the Xbox One stayed in its DRM form and didn't get hacked until 2019, would you still buy one? I would say yes, because I don't do this as much now on the channel, but years ago I used to do a lot more discussions and such on the channel. And I did several videos comparing the PS4 to the Xbox One and my thoughts and what I liked and what I didn't like and what I recommended and just things like that. That's what I was doing. I did a lot more videos like that. And so it was kind of a, I guess, dare I say, an investment for the YouTube channel, because it was the piece of hardware I was using and I would have experience with, so I could make videos and bring it to you all like that. And I couldn't make accurate videos about it if I didn't have the hardware. I mean, simple as that. So I did get the Xbox One on launch because at the time I liked it more. At the time, yeah, we're not going to talk about that. But I did end up getting it on launch, and I remember the reason why I say yes to this is because I ended up getting a PS4 kind of for this reason. When I first saw the PS4, it was like January 2014. I found 2 of them in a shop, and that was actually one big reason why I decided to get it. It was kind of, I'm going to get it eventually. I already have some games through it thanks to PlayStation Plus, and also I could make videos talking about it, and I could make videos recorded on it and play some newer games and all that stuff. So yeah, in short, yes, I would have gotten an Xbox One prior to, God, I need water. Prior to 2019. It's the Xbox One that's doing that, man. It's just making me gag. How do you research a topic for a new video you're making, and what does your video prep look like? So, generally, first of all, kind of cheating here, there's a lot of things that I know how to do that I haven't made videos on, and a lot of times it could just be kind of, I need the inspiration to make a video on it. So, one good example of this was like, by the time this video comes out, I will have some PSP videos that are coming out. And one of them is just how to take a UMD-based PSP game and how to dump it and how to play it. That's something I've known about for years. It's incredibly easy for me. But I've had it asked so many times, and at one point, I was kind of just inspired to do it. So there's a lot of things I know how to do, and I feel like some knowledge I have where I know how to do it all, and I really don't need to learn it. I might need to brush up on it a little bit, but I already know the process, or the process is set in stone and doesn't really need to be changed. So that's kind of cheating. But as for something that's all new, sometimes subscribers and commenters will bring up stuff for me. I'm on Twitter and Reddit quite a lot, so there's a lot of developers that I follow through the homebrew scene. There's websites I follow. Some notable ones are PSX Place, GBA Temp, and those are not even websites I might not visit. Like, I'm not going to visit them daily, but I will see a lot of articles posted from them, and that could be on Reddit and such. So like PS3 hacks related Reddits, 3DS or DS or Nintendo system related hacking and modding Reddits and such. So there's going to be, you know, places like that I'll hang out on. My biggest two places I hang out on generally are Twitter and Reddit. And Twitter as well, since I said I follow a bunch of developers and such, I could see them release new things that get on their GitHub. I could see new articles come out from some of the websites that I do follow on there as well too, and plenty of other things. So generally, if it is something that I had not heard of, I can hear of it through YouTube, through Twitter, through Reddit, through any of the websites that I do frequent, like mainly message boards and such. Wololo.net, that's also a really good one. I've used that countless times for sources. So I kind of read up on there, and then if it's something that I do want to work on, I'll see what I need to do, and generally I'll perform it, you know, at least 2 or 3 times on my own hardware and such. And sometimes if it's something really straightforward, I might only need to do it once, but other times, if it's something a little more sensitive, I do want to replicate it several times, just so if I run into any issues, I know what I can provide for help and such on there. And sometimes even then, like, I will run into a few common issues and I'll answer them in the video, and people will run into other issues that end up being common that I didn't run into at all across multiple software trials, across multiple systems. And that's another thing too. I do keep multiple systems on hand sometimes if something, let's say, releases for the PSP, so I can try this on multiple systems, see if there's any difference, see what the performance will be and such, see if there's anything I need to look out for. And then generally, once I try it myself, I will get my microphone that I have kind of right here. I will fire up if it's something, assuming I need to do it all through HDMI. I have the console hooked up through my capture card. I fire up my OBS, which has already been set up, and I do the recording, and after that it's then just video editing and getting a thumbnail and getting it all uploaded and tagged and bagged and such. At one point, I guess I just need to actually sit down and do it. At one point, I've been thinking about this for years. I have been thinking of making a video where I show myself working on a video from start to finish, and it wouldn't be a tutorial. It would just kind of be a overall, this is how I generally make videos type of deal. I have no guarantee of when I do that, or if I do it, or how I'm going to do it, because essentially the other thing is I would kind of be making 2 videos while I'm making 1 video, but I only have to do it 1 time. So my thing is also, when I feel like working on a video, I'm really inspired to do it right there and finish it. So yeah. I would just kind of have to remind myself or bonk myself on the head and say, hey, also do this other meta video about this video that you're making. So that's something maybe I'll do in the future. I don't want to put any guarantees on it, but I've thought of it many times. What do you think the most fun console to mod is? Not as an extension of what's your favorite console or what console has the best features after modding, but which console do you enjoy the journey installation of the most? I really have to think on this one. I would say, like, the Xboxes have always been fun for me. So, like, the Xbox 360, even if I'm sitting there, you know, soldering it up and everything, getting everything running on there, it's always really fun to do for me. The original Xbox is also a really fun one to work on, whether it be soft mod, hard mod, going into it and everything. And the PSP, although I have really fond memories of it and I do love modding it up and all the features you do get in the end, it's kind of, you know, within 10 or 15 minutes you're done. So I'd say as a good journey console, especially with like what you can get in 2019 and everything, the original Xbox is probably my current favorite like project console to work on. Just due to the fact there's so many things you can do on it, and kind of one of my favorite things to do is, I would say, if I have, you know, my optimal original Xbox system right here, I get one in, it paid $5-10 for it or what have you, test it, make sure it all works, clean it up a little bit, you know, somewhere in the process. But typically, if I can T-soft flash it, I'll go in, I'll soft mod it. Once it's soft modded, I make sure everything's working properly. I'll then do a T-soft flash. After a T-soft flash of a new BIOS, I'll upgrade the hard drive on there. Depending on what I have to do, I might have to change out the IDE cable if I'm doing a SATA drive or an IDE drive on there. If it's SATA, I also have to get one of those SATA adapters as well. And then, you know, that's setting up the hard drive and such. And even in the midst of all that, what I like to do is, you know, rip out the clock capacitor, clean up the motherboard really well, repaste the CPU, GPU, clean up, you know, as much as I can, clean up the outside of the system, refurbish the disk drive as much as I can as well too, and then kind of put it back together. And I would say that, yeah, as a journey console, and especially with what you get in the end, that is a really fun one to work on. So I would say that's my answer. What is your favorite game of all time? Grand Theft Auto 3. I actually covered this in my 50,000 subscribers special, but I don't think... I'm not saying if I never played this game I would have never been into video games, because that's a lie. I would have just gotten into them with something else. But Grand Theft Auto 3 is what pushed me to get a game system. I always kind of wanted like a Super Nintendo or an N64 or a PlayStation of some kind, especially the PlayStation. I really wanted one of those. But I remember I was wanting a PS2. I actually rented one from Blockbuster back in the day. It was really awesome to mess around with that week. And I was more excited about the PS1 games as opposed to the PS2 games, due to the fact that there was backwards compatibility. And to me, all of them were new, because I never owned a PS1, and I especially didn't own a PS2. So I wanted a PS2 for a while, and then I ended up getting an Xbox. I decided on that. I've talked about that story as well, but I remember there was one night I was visiting some family. My cousin took me over to someone else's house. I probably shouldn't have been left there by myself, but him and this dude went out, so I was there for like 20-30 minutes. And there was a guy who was sitting there playing Grand Theft Auto 3 on a big screen TV. And he died. He kind of looked at me. He's like, "Here you go." He passes me the controller and runs off. And I was like 8 or 9 years old at the time. And it was mind-blowing to me. It was a 3D city. I could hit the triangle button, walk out of my car. I looked like a real person, and I can go over to any other car I saw, press the triangle button there, and get into the car. It was all I did, because I loved car games at the time. And this just brought to a whole new level. Like, this was insane. So it was the first time I felt like it was a game where you could really do whatever you wanted, and you had absolute unparalleled freedom on there. And that is why, like, Grand Theft Auto 3, it is my all-time favorite game. It's one of those games, you put it in front of me, and I have to rip it away from myself, because if I don't, I just sit there and keep playing it and playing it and playing it. And I have most of the city memorized, that original Liberty City. Now, granted, I played through it again in, was it 2016? Did a start-to-finish playthrough on there. It was either 2016 or 2017. Either way, when I went through it, I did realize the game is a lot smaller than we all remember, but still, I have so many hours in that game just across multiple different platforms and all that stuff, and I love it. Still love it to this day. It is my favorite Grand Theft Auto game. I would say that Grand Theft Auto 5 is probably the best in terms of, you know, like, fun and technology and features and all that stuff, but 3 is just, that is still my all-time favorite, man. And the last question I'm taking is, how many Xboxes do you have? Well, let's see. I got one. Oh my god! 2. Why did Microsoft have to make them so heavy? Jesus. Alright. Hold on. We got this. 3. Can I hold it? Okay, I'm just gonna put this on my lap. Like, God, like, I don't have a problem. Why do you ask me this question? I don't have a problem. Anyways, that is about it for this video. So thank you so much for watching and listening, everyone. I really appreciate it. I don't know when we're going to do another one of these. Maybe I should do like a live stream type Q&A, or maybe I should just do like another random Q&A, because I was doing them for milestones and all that, but honestly, I know people are saying the next milestone is going to be 200,000. I'm good. Even if I never hit that, I'm good. And I don't expect to hit it. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll do like a live stream Q&A at one point, maybe. Like, in months. I have no idea when. I really have no idea when. But anyways, again, everyone, thank you so much. This has been fun. This has been awesome. It's been traumatizing for some people who participated in the last video. But either way, it's been a good time. So thank you, everyone. It's much appreciated. And let's just continue on with the regular content. So every Saturday there's going to be a new upload. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, a like would absolutely be appreciated. And if you didn't like it, a dislike is fine as well, too.